I got a Patreon request from Andrew to review the David Fincher movie The Game. I admit, when I first saw this movie many years ago, I was underwhelmed. I did not find the plot to be all that logical, and it frustrated me more than anything. But I've been interested in giving another go for a while. While I don't think it's a bad film and there are things to admire in it, I do find The Game to be one of Fincher's lesser films. To start with some of the positives, the setup is intriguing, and the notion of a modern science fiction spin on A Christmas Carol is one with potential. Something that helps is that Michael Douglas does a really good job of carrying the movie. He's in almost every scene and succeeds at showing the paranoia and desperation of investment banker Nicholas as he's plunged into the strange reality created by this company and tries to escape all the ordeals he's put through. You can sense his frustration as he's continually gaslit and does not know who to trust as things spiral out of control. And yes, I am using gaslight correctly in this case. It really bothers me that nowadays a lot of people keep using the term without actually knowing what it means. People seem to think gaslighting is just a fancy way of lying or when someone disagrees with their opinion on something. In actuality, it's a specific type of mental abuse where someone manipulates another person into questioning their reality as a means to control them. And that's what we see throughout the film, as Nicholas remains stuck in this game where everything and everyone appears to twist his entire world. Being a David Fincher film, it's a very technically well-made film, and he does a particularly good job of helping us understand where Nicholas is at a given time. The movie was primarily filmed in San Francisco, and the film makes good use of the locations. As I said, this is the second time I've seen The Game, and knowing the ending did make me look at certain scenes differently. I'm wondering how that was pulled off, and the mechanics involved in the company's manipulation of events. So even with Michael Douglas' performance and some of Fincher's directing choices, why does The Game underwhelm me? Well, a main problem I have with the movie does come from how Nicholas is portrayed. He's meant to be this horrible and emotionally detached character, and there's certainly some of that with the latter, but I don't think they made him mean enough. He came across to me as just your average capitalist making decisions that'll bring in the most money and profits. So as all the things are happening to him and his entire world is coming apart, I kept thinking he did not really deserve any of this. The film even gives him a tragic backstory involving his father, who, by the way, is played by Charles Martinet. Yes, you heard that correctly. The voice of Super Mario was in a David Fincher film. Anyway, a lot of what the company does to Nicholas is incredibly dangerous and needs to go off exactly right. There's several points where he comes close to dying, and it makes me wonder how many people who signed up for that game actually did die. They should be swimming in lawsuits for some of the things they apparently do to anyone who participates. So I felt a lot of the movie really stretched logic and required an enormous amount of suspension of disbelief. Another major problem I have with the movie is the ending, so I'm going to spoilers here in case you have not watched The Game. Just a warning. So the ending reveals this was all an elaborate ploy designed to make Nicholas into a better person. That's the entire reason this company exists. But I just do not buy he would suddenly switch on a dime after everything that happens to him. Not only does he almost die at several points and is even drugged and sent off to Mexico, but in the end he even becomes suicidal after thinking he's killed his brother. I don't think Nicholas would suddenly be all hunky-dory after all that. If anything, he's going to have major trust issues, especially since his brother managed to convince everyone he knows to get in on this. Somehow, every single person was told the scheme and was like, yeah, we're okay with emotionally manipulating him. The only reason I can think is that he must have paid them a lot of money, and even then I have a hard time believing there was not someone who refused. Throughout the movie, he keeps meeting up with one of the company's actors, and despite finding out she was playing a role the entire time, he still decides to ask her out on a date. Again, I just don't buy that. The ending of The Game is a bit of a contrast from most of David Fincher's other movies, which don't have squeaky clean endings or particularly happy ones. He himself even said years later that he should not have made the movie, and the third act is where he thought it most fell apart. I've liked almost every film Fincher's directed, but The Game remains one of those few exceptions that I think falls short. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for the request, Andrew.